Sagittarius, mark this horizon on your map. Engrave this countdown in your adventurous spirit. 3 days, 72 hours. That is the exact time that separates you from the current version of your life and the version defined by the boundless freedom you've always yearned for. I'm not talking about a subtle adjustment. I'm talking about a total, instantaneous, and irreversible unleashing. In 3 days, something will happen that will divide your existence into 2 parts. So different that it will feel as if they were 2 completely separate quests. You will look back and refer to everything you've explored so far as before, and everything that comes after will be after. These 2 versions of your life will share nothing but the core spirit of the archer. It's as if you were going to shed every self-imposed chain and be reborn in the same body. The person you are now, limited by old beliefs and practical concerns, will no longer exist in 3 days. And I'm not being metaphorical. I'm being literal. You will feel this shedding and this rebirth of vision. You will pass through a portal so narrow and intense that only your purest, most philosophical essence, the seeker of truth, will be able to cross it. Everything else, every lie, every compromise, every outdated map will be left behind. Do you feel it in the air, that strange restlessness, that intense wanderlust that's been growing inside you these past few weeks? That feeling that a gigantic truth or an ultimate destination is approaching. It's not just pre-holiday jitters. It's your soul recognizing that the most important quest of your life is just 3 days away. And at this very moment, as you read these words, the countdown continues. Every passing second brings you closer to the moment that will completely redefine the scope of your life. Are you prepared to discover that everything you thought you knew about the truth was merely the first layer? What I'm about to reveal is not for the complacent. It's not for those who seek comfortable doctrines or small-scale adventures. It's for those who have the courage to look directly at the most expansive truth about their existence. You, Sagittarius, have been chosen to go through something that most people will never experience in a lifetime. A realization so profound that it will rewrite not only your future trajectory, but also completely redefine the entire meaning of your past experiences. Everything you've lived through until now will make sense in a completely new way in 3 days. Every time you felt lost, every philosophical detour you took, every moment you felt the need to escape but persevered, every time you were forced to travel inward to find answers, all of that was specifically preparing you to steer the ship toward what will happen in 72 hours. These weren't accidents. They were intensive navigation lessons preparing you to withstand the magnitude of the revelation that's coming. Because what will happen in 3 days is not something an ordinary person could process. It requires the kind of wisdom that only someone who has sought the truth, regardless of the cost, possesses. Sagittarius, over the next 3 days, you will receive increasingly intense signs that a cosmic launch is brewing. Your mind will race in strange ways, unexplained epiphanies, sudden profound clarity on complex issues, an irresistible pull toward a distant place or subject, electric energy running down your spine. Dreams will be so vivid they will feel like prophetic visions. Don't fight it. These are the natural reactions of your belief system calibrating itself to the completely new frequency of limitlessness you will operate at after the transformation. Over the next 72 hours, carefully observe what is happening around you. Specific teachers or guides will appear or disappear from your life. Seemingly casual conversations will carry coded messages about your true life's curriculum. You will begin to see patterns and philosophical connections that have always been there, but remained invisible until now. Your level of perception is being amplified exponentially in preparation for the quantum leap you are about to take. For Sagittarians born between November 22nd and December 2nd, these 3 days will mark the end of a cycle related to compromising your optimism and freedom. You will fully reclaim the wide-open spaces in your life that you had ceded to others' expectations. For those born between December 3rd and 12th, the transformation will be centered on your core philosophy and belief system. You will finally see the whole truth of the universe, and it will set you free. And for those born between December 13th and 21st, the next 3 days will bring the end of a pattern of exaggeration or promising too much, the shadow of the archer that has limited your credibility for years. But regardless of when you were born, all Sagittarians will experience the same essential thing, the total death of the limited story they told themselves. And when I say death, I'm not speaking symbolically. Something inside you will literally die in these next 3 days. That part that is afraid to speak the raw, unpolished truth. That part that doubts your inner wisdom. That part that settles for a small, safe life instead of the grand adventure you were meant for. That part that accepts the status quo so as not to rock the boat of others' comfort. All of that will be completely incinerated, and from what remains of those ashes, a version of you will emerge that is pure, concentrated truth, unfiltered, unafraid of being too visionary, too direct, too free. The version of you that has always existed in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to set its ultimate aim, and that moment arrives in exactly 3 days. Can you feel this force moving within you right now? Like an arrow drawn back to its absolute maximum tension. What makes these next 3 days so crucial is that they represent the culmination of a quest that began a long time ago. You have been tested, refined, and guided through experiences that have repeatedly made you question everything. And each time you questioned, you sought an answer a little deeper, a little further, a little closer to the ultimate wisdom. But now, the refinement process is over. You are ready, and the universe knows it. Over the next 72 hours, you will be placed in situations that will require you to make definitive choices regarding your trajectory. No more debating the philosophy of the decision. No more postponing the great escape or the new direction. No more pretending you don't know the truth you need to live. The clarity you will experience in these 3 days will be so intense that it will be impossible to continue deceiving yourself. You will see the truth about every goal, every path, every aspect of your life with a crystal clear vision that may even initially overwhelm you. And when that clarity comes, and it will come with overwhelming force, you'll have to act, not tomorrow, not next week, but immediately. Because the window of opportunity that's opening in these 3 days is temporary. After it closes, you won't have another chance to launch yourself in this specific direction with this ease. It's now or never. It's total liberation or permanent stagnation. There's no middle ground at this crucial juncture in your life. Sagittarius. One of the most powerful things that will happen in these next 3 days is that you will finally free yourself from all the dead weight you've been carrying, relationships that anchor you more than they propel you forward. situations that keep you trapped in a narrative of mediocrity, beliefs about yourself that limit your potential, fears that were planted in you by cautious people, limitations that you accepted as truth but are just illusions. All of this will be ripped away from you in these 3 days, and it won't be gentle. It won't be gradual. It will be like an immediate, clean shot that cuts the tether. It might sting intensely for a few moments, but when the process is over, you will feel a lightness and exhilaration you didn't even remember was possible. You will be able to run completely free for the first time in years. You will move without the intellectual or emotional weights that kept you tethered to the same small area. The after version of you that will emerge from these 3 days will not tolerate anything that the before version tolerated. It will not accept intellectual dishonesty. It will not make concessions on things that are non-negotiable for your freedom. It will not diminish its truth so that others feel comfortable. And this will radically change the dynamics of all your relationships and situations. Some people around you will be shocked by the change. They will try to convince you that you are being too extreme or too unconstrained. They will miss the version of you they could keep in a cage. Let them miss it. Let them feel uncomfortable. Because the truth is, these people only liked you while you were small enough not to threaten their limited vision of the world. When you assume your full expansive power after these 3 days, they will have 2 options: grow their perspective with you or exit your life, and both options are perfect. Over the next 3 days, you will also receive downloads of information. Knowledge about your grand purpose will arrive in unexpected ways. Epiphanies about the truth of the universe will explain the patterns in your current life. Visions of possible futures will show you what is possible when you operate from your full power. Don't dismiss any of this as mere wishful thinking or imagination. This is real information coming from higher, more subtle dimensions of reality that you are finally attuned enough to access. The intensity of these 3 days might make you want to retreat, return to your comfort zone, or postpone the journey, but you can't. The process has already begun. You are already inside the portal. The only possible direction is forward, and the truth is that a part of you, the deepest and truest archer within, has been waiting for this moment your whole life. It has been anxious to finally be freed from the limitations that have kept it grounded. Sagittarius. Something you need to understand about these 3 days. They don't come to add things to your life. They come to remove everything that isn't essential, to burn away everything that is false, to destroy everything that is limiting. And yes, this means you may lose things and people you thought were important, but what you will gain in their place is infinitely more valuable. You will gain yourself back, the unedited, unfiltered, fully charged version of who you truly are. And when you reconnect with this authentic version of yourself after these 3 days, you'll wonder how you managed to live so long being such a diminished version. You'll look back and barely recognize the person you were before, not with judgment or criticism, but with compassion for someone who was doing the best they could with the limited map they had. And you'll feel a deep gratitude for having had the courage to choose this transformation instead of continuing to live a life that wasn't truly yours. For the next 72 hours, your intuition will be amplified to its maximum. You will know things without knowing how you know them. You will sense truths about people and situations that will be impossible to ignore. Trust these perceptions completely, even when they contradict what your logical mind is trying to tell you. Your Sagittarian wisdom is already naturally powerful. But during these 3 days, it will be operating at prophetic levels. Use this heightened vision to make the choices you need to make, to identify what serves the after version of you and what needs to be left behind with the before version, to recognize the opportunities for expansion that are opening up and the paths that are closing, to discern between what is legitimate caution protecting you and what is merely resistance to necessary change. The transformation that will happen in these 3 days will also profoundly affect how you deal with truth, both your own and that of others. Sagittarius has a complex relationship with honesty, often oscillating between preaching grand ideals and being clumsy with direct facts. But after these 3 days, you will find a completely new balance. You will embrace your truth without blunt force. You will use it wisely instead of impulsively. You will recognize when to exercise it and when to allow others to find their own. And here's something crucial. These 3 days will teach you the difference between merely believing something and knowing it. Over the next 3 days, you will also have to confront some philosophical shadows you've been avoiding, looking at outdated dogmas, times you lacked tolerance, or destructive patterns where you chose escape over responsibility. But instead of being as painful as you imagine, this confrontation with your shadows will be liberating because you will finally have the strength to integrate them instead of rejecting them, to transform them into wisdom instead of denying them. This integration is an essential part of your transformation. Sagittarius is the sign that best understands that there is no growth without reaching for a new horizon, that there is no revelation without first fully accepting the unknown. In these 3 days, you will experience this truth viscerally. You will directly experience what it means to shed one version of yourself so that another can be born. And when the 3rd day ends, when you look around and realize you survived the transformation, you'll feel something you've never felt before. You'll feel unstoppable, not in an arrogant way, but as a factual realization. If you manage to transform yourself so completely, you can launch yourself toward any goal, any truth, and any destination. If you manage to let go of everything that wasn't essential, nothing can truly defeat your spirit. Sagittarius, these 3 days will give you access to levels of power you didn't even know existed within you. Power of vision. Your ability to see the path ahead and manifest what you imagine will multiply exponentially. Magnetic power. You will attract the necessary resources, teachers, and opportunities effortlessly. Guiding power. Your mere presence will catalyze clarity in the people and situations around you. Regenerative power. Your ability to heal and renew your enthusiasm will be at its peak. But with great power comes great responsibility. The after version of you will have to learn to use these amplified powers consciously and ethically. You will have to resist the temptation to preach or dominate. You will have to choose to use your influence to uplift and illuminate, rather than to impose your will. You will have to wield your truth with the wisdom that comes from intimately knowing both the possibilities and the limitations of human nature. During these crucial 3 days, you may experience moments of profound doubt, a feeling of being philosophically lost, and intense fear of the unknown that lies ahead. If this happens, know that it's a normal part of the process. It's the ego desperately clinging to the old, comfortable life that is dying. Breathe through it. Trust that on the other side is a version of you that will discover more freedom and joy than you could imagine. Now, there may also be moments during these 3 days where you question whether you truly want this transformation, whether it wouldn't be easier to just continue searching aimlessly. But listen, you wouldn't have gotten this far if you weren't ready. You wouldn't be reading these words if your soul hadn't recognized the truth in them. You wouldn't feel this intense energy in your body if you weren't being prepared for what's coming. Trust in that. Trust in your inner archer. Trust in the process. These 3 days will also completely redefine your relationships. The after version of you will demand a level of intellectual expansion and shared adventure that the before version was willing to compromise on. You will no longer accept superficial connections or relationships where you cannot be completely honest. This may mean the end of some relationships and the beginning of others that are far more meaningful. Or it may mean the total transformation of existing relationships to levels of shared vision you didn't even know were possible. Sagittarius, in the next 3 days, you will also receive absolute clarity about your life purpose, not in vague terms, but in specific details. You will know exactly what you came here to explore and share. You will understand how your unique experiences have specifically prepared you for this mission of truth-telling. You will see the path ahead with a clarity that makes it impossible to procrastinate or doubt, and you will feel an urgency to begin that will be greater than any fear or resistance. The purpose that will be revealed will not be small or comfortable. It will be something that is a little frightening because of its magnitude. Something that pushes you completely out of your current sphere. Something that demands that you use all the gifts and talents you have developed, including those you don't yet fully recognize. But it will resonate with you in such a profound way that it will be impossible to ignore or reject. And here's the most beautiful part. You will finally understand that everything you went through, every doubt, every loss of faith, every difficult moment, had a greater purpose. Not because everything happens for a reason in a simplistic way, but because you consciously transformed each experience into wisdom, each wound into strength, and each ending into a new, wider beginning. You are the one who gave purpose to your suffering by refusing to be limited by it. And this alchemy is your greatest power. In these 3 days, you will be tested one last time before the complete transformation. The universe will give you opportunities to revert to old, limiting patterns, temptations to choose the familiar, even if stagnating, instead of the empowering unknown. Moments where it will be easier to retreat than to advance. These are your last chances to choose to stay with the before version of yourself. But you already know which choice you will make, don't you? Because you didn't come this far to put the arrow back in the quiver. When the 3rd day comes to an end and you fully cross over to the other side of this transformation, you will realize something fundamental. You haven't become someone new. You've simply removed all the false maps and layers that were hiding who you've always been: the visionary, the philosopher, the completely free spirit. The after version isn't a creation. It's a revelation. It's you, finally having the courage to be who you were meant to be without excuses. Without limits, without fear. Share in the comments simply, "I'm ready." If you are willing to fully embrace what is coming in these next 3 days, no further explanation is needed. Just mark your intention to cross this portal of transformation with courage and awareness. Subscribe now, because what happens in these 3 days is just the beginning of a completely new phase of your life. You will need guidance on how to integrate this transformation, how to use your new powers constructively, and how to navigate reality from this expanded consciousness. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any crucial guidance for your new existence. Sagittarius. These next 3 days will give you something you've been searching for your whole life. Total permission to be exactly who you are, with all the intensity, depth, and expansive vision that implies. The countdown has already begun. Every passing second brings you closer to the moment that will divide your life into before and after. And when you cross to the other side, you will look back and be immensely grateful for the version of yourself that had the courage not to back down when the invitation for total liberation was made. The portal is open. The choice is yours. But deep down, you already know that there is no real choice.